What's up, guys? How's it going? Huei-Yuan coming to you from Cupertino, California. Today is March 25th, 2020. Just after 4 o'clock. I am getting much closer to getting this streamlined. Things are getting put together. People are starting to know when the streams are happening. So welcome to the room if you're coming in. Make sure you let us know where you're watching from. Let me try some of these buttons that I've set up today. Let's see if I can, hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for coming in. Thank you for those incoming hearts. Great to see everybody. You can find me on all social media platforms at Huei-Yuan, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and such. And let us know where you're watching from right now. You can type in, hey, what's up, Huei, from Cupertino, California. Just want to know where our folks are coming in. A big part of these live streams are, yes, about the lesson content, but also, you know, we're all home right now, so this is a chance for us to connect online. So say hi to your friends, make some new friends, and just let us know what's going on. Marching Vlogs, welcome to the room. Daniel Escari, whoa, Hype the Clean in the room. What's up, guys? Good to see ya. Yeah. Oh man, we got a lot of like friends coming in. I don't know if it's just like the time of the day. I know Dan is in dad mode, as am I. So a big part of this is just getting things set up properly so that we can come together for just a short hour today. If this is your first live stream, my name is Huei-Yuan. Today we're going to be covering a specific topic, which is part 2 of timing. If you've missed the previous streams, those are all on my Facebook page. And of course, we're going to be uploading this content onto YouTube as well. We're going to have the edited down condensed versions for our Drumline Blueprint video course members as well. So you can check that out at drumlineblueprint.com/courses. And we also have a Q&A session at the very end. So feel free to ask questions as we go through. We'll stop periodically and answer questions. And that open Q&A at the end, that's your chance to ask questions like, today we're answering a question about ninelets, which was from yesterday. We didn't get to all the questions from yesterday. So we're going to talk a little bit about ninelets at the end. Today's topic is about timing. Let me see if I'm missing anything else. Oh, and do me a favor, like, follow, subscribe. There's a notification bell on YouTube. You can hit that little button at the bottom that says get all live notifications on the bottom of Facebook. And you think I would have all this memorized by now, but I'm kind of learning how to use all these buttons at the same time. This is our handout from today. So let me see if I can scroll. Primary display, second display. Yeah, there we go. There's the handout. Oh, and I want to mention that there's a free handout today. So Instagram folks, you guys can't see this on your screen, but YouTube and Facebook, you can see right here. This is volume 2 of my marching percussion playbook. Here's a hard copy here. And the second volume in the book is what we're working out of this week. So this is kind of the theme of the week. Last week we had a 4-2-1 theme, which is volume 1. And this week we're doing a timing theme. And this whole volume, because I know we're at home right now and maybe some of us are looking for some new teaching material or for some practice material, I'm making the whole volume available for download for free right now. So if you just go to huei-yuan.com/free lessons, you can download that volume. If you do download it and you enjoy it, do me a favor and hit it with a rating, a 5-star rating, because I know that the platform that I'm using just came out with that rating system, so I've got like no ratings for the product at the moment, which is totally fine. But if you do enjoy it, do me a favor and hit it with a rating, okay? All right, let's do this. We're gonna go over briefly. We'll do a quick recap of what we did yesterday. Let me see if there's any friends coming in from Massachusetts. What's up, Colin? Good to see you. Texas, Tejas Super Mario, welcome. Yeah, New York, Kayla, welcome. Hi, Rico. Hey, guys. Man, this is awesome. This is crazy. Got people coming in from all over the country. Yeah, Erk coming in. Heel Silva, welcome. And Facebook, Michael Brown, welcome, Mike. Today we're going to be hitting your ninelet question from yesterday, so make sure you stay till the end. Isaac, Carroll County, Maryland. Zach, how do you pronounce this? Manitowoc? 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 Manitowoc. I'm going to go with Manitowoc for now. Wisconsin. Andres Aya! Coming in from Houston, Texas, checking in on the live stream. Dre's been doing quite a few live streams of his own and building quite a bit of live stream content for him and his students. And Drumline Chops is doing a little bit of a collab with him as well. So good times. Okay, and make sure you just share this out with your friends. The more people we get in the room, this kind of becomes like a little party action as we do this. So up in here. Okay, so review from yesterday. Yesterday we talked about timing and how it's this universal characteristic that all musicians constantly work on over their their development as musicians. When you first start out, you're spending a lot of time working with the metronome so that you can build that consistent sense of pulse. You have all the excuses under the sun. I can't find my metronome's out of batteries. Yeah, but you still have to log hours with your metronome to get that part of you developed, right? And as you're doing this, you'll come to find that there's so much more than just like keeping a steady beat as you're playing. Because when you play with other musicians, or if you play in a large ensemble with a conductor, the tempo is going to move, right? You're going to speed up, you're going to slow down, you're going to stretch the ends of phrases. And so you have to be able to develop your awareness for time and tempo. So that was all about yesterday's lesson. And we talked about playing on the beat, ahead of the beat, and behind the beat. And today we're going to talk about some additional ways that you can start practicing this skill set. So for example, let's take a look at Manitowoc, Manitowoc, Wisconsin. That's how you pronounce it. Wisconsin is weird. Okay, thanks for the assist, Zach. Okay, so let's just do a quick review. Let's try at, I think we put it at 100 yesterday. Okay, and we're gonna just try this. Pull out your sticks and your pads if you want to do this with us. Okay, and we're gonna get this going. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna experiment with playing on the beat, gradually playing ahead of the beat, coming back to being on the beat, and then gradually playing behind the beat, and then back onto the beat, okay? So this is on the beat right now. I'm trying to line up every note that I'm playing exactly with the metronome. Okay, now we're gonna gradually speed up just a little bit. And now you should be able to hear the clicks and the chirps on the metronome, because I'm on top of the beat now, right, or ahead a little bit. But I'm not blowing past the metronome though, right? I'm going to slow back down. So now I'm with the metronome. Yep, great. Thanks for sharing, guys. You can see that those hearts coming through, and I can see those shares going out. Thank you very much for sharing. Now we're going to slow down just a little bit. And we're going to play on the back side or behind the. You can hear the clicks again, right? Because I'm not burying the metronome. I'm going to speed back up. Back on the beat. And stop. Okay? So that's an example. And in yesterday's lesson, we described how every click you could picture as a ball, but in recording terms, there's going to be a waveform. Every beep is a certain length. And in that space, you could be playing right in the center, you can play it behind, you can play ahead, and you're working on your awareness and your ability to place the notes in relative positions to the center of the beat. Okay, so let's talk about some of these rhythm patterns that you might be practicing at home. This is a core set of skill sets. If you're a percussionist of some kind and you haven't done the legwork of familiarizing yourself with these rhythms, the approach we're taking is you want to make yourself familiar with all these rhythms in advance when you're in a room by yourself and no one else is around, so that when you see it in the music or you're playing it in performance, it's not a, ooh, I wonder if I can play this rhythm, or what is that? Is that, let me count the notes, is it, oh, that's a rest on the 16th E and 1 E. You're trying to figure out what the beats are, right? You just have to be able to see it. And you know, my daughter's 4 right now. She's working on sight words in her phonics classes. Like when you see T-H-E, you don't go like that's a sight word. You just have to say the. It doesn't sound the way necessarily that it looks. You just recognize it as soon as you see it. So the same thing with these rhythms. The first set that we're going to look at are these sight rhythms. And I think I can pull these up. Actually, no, I can. Let me pull this up on our Facebook stream. Tertiary display. No. Secondary display. Here we go. Yep. And I'm going to pull this music up for us. And okay, this is where we are in the book. If you've already downloaded this book, this is kind of where we're at. We talked about pulse dissonance, bearing the metronome yesterday, and now we're talking about these rhythms. Okay, but let's scroll down here to the music. And if you're watching me scroll through this on Instagram and you guys can't see this, just bear with us. Or go ahead and download your copy of Volume 2. And we're doing this second grouping of timing notes. Okay, so we're checking out this middle section of the page. I can zoom in just a little bit more to make this as reader friendly as possible for our YouTube and Facebook viewers. Oh my gosh, what did I do? I just made all the screens black out. Coming down here. Okay, we're almost there. I know this is a little bit slow. I'm getting better at this, but it's a little bit slow. Okay, so let's look at this first set. We're just going to loop this first rhythm. Okay? In the book, what we talk about is you're going to place that note. Make sure that that first note of each beat is right on the beat. Okay? And another strategy you can do is you turn on the 8th note, and now you have 2 checkpoints. Ba-da-ba, 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 ba-da-ba. Right? And if I turn on the 16th notes, I have all the notes. Okay, so let's start with the 16ths on, and we're going to play the 2 counts of check, followed by 1 yen, 2 yen. 2 counts of check, 1 yen, 2 yen. Okay, this should be familiar for most of us, and we'll do a couple reps of this so you can get it in your hands. Sticking is right, left, right, left, right. Natural sticking for now. Of course, you can do alternating sticking, but right, left, right for now. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, and 1, 2, here we go. Okay, now as you're doing this, you're not just listening for the peak, peak. Yes, that's what you're definitely feeling, right? And we're thinking micro time and macro time. The micro time is you're lining up not just those downbeat quarter notes, but you're also lining up all the E andas in between. And these 16th notes, thanks for those hearts, guys, appreciate that. All those 16th notes are evenly spaced, and I call that the auditory graph paper. You know, if you've ever used graph paper in class, you know that the space between each one of those boxes is exactly the same. The space between each one of these notes, if I take the chirp off, is exactly the same all the way through, right? I can put a little bit of a pulse on the downbeat. My goal is to line up every note that I play exactly on the line of that graph paper. Okay? Macro time, on the other hand, this is going to get heady for just a moment, but the macro time, if I put the chirp on let's say every 2 beats for now, and I turn the accent back on, now I'm feeling the big beats. 1, 2, I'm feeling the half notes, right? 1, 2, and I put it on 2 and 4 so it feels like a backbeat. Let's try it. Same pattern. 2, a 1, 2, ready, go. Off the left. Okay, so you're hearing those beats on 2 and 4, and you're also, at the same time, if you can, macro is the 2 and 4, right? The micro are all the 16th note subdivisions in between, okay? And you can even go even more macro. Let's say we put it on every 4. 1, 2, 3. Right? You can feel those macro beats. And then if you want to get really crazy, you can take out the 16th notes. Take out take out the 8th notes, just quarters. right? And so you're starting to take out all those lines within the graph paper, and now you have only a line every 1 beat, 2 beats, 4 beats, or 8 beats, right? So this is one way where you can start with having a lot of micro beats to help you along the way, and then you gradually start to fade them out until you have these macro beats. And then I'll say the last trick about this, which is, you know, as you get older or you become more mature with your playing, when you first start out, you can only be thinking of maybe like one subdivision at a time. Like your teacher says, okay, make sure you feel the beat, feel the quarter notes as you're playing. Okay, good. And then they make you aware of the eighth notes that are happening, right? And you're like, okay, I'm feeling the eighth note now, right? But you'll see that my body's still feeling boom, boom. And then inside my head, maybe I'm feeling eighth notes, right? And as you become more advanced, you can start to feel multiple divisions at the same time. So as I'm playing, I might be feeling the half notes on 2 and 4 while I'm feeling the eighth notes. And then maybe I just don't think about the 16ths. I can hear the 16ths in my head. I'm feeling the eighths. I'm also feeling the halves, right? And then you can do even polyrhythms where you're feeling multiple subdivisions that don't overlap necessarily, but every 2 beats. I mean, there's lots of ways that you could do this, and you're just, as you're experimenting with this, you're starting to strengthen your foundation as a player so that you can feel and hear things differently depending on the context of the music that you're playing also, right? Sometimes it might be straight eights, but all of a sudden it goes bing, bing, baku, baku, but you're going to Quarternote triplets or 5 or 4, it gets weird, right? So you gotta have that flexibility to move in and out of these subdivisions as well. Okay, I know that was kind of heady. We're gonna do a lot of playing here in just a moment. Let me see if there are any questions real fast. Jake says, nice, man. Thank you. Jake with the big heart eyes, appreciate that, Jake. Questions over here. Maestro Wang, welcome to the room. Daniel, solid stuff as always. Hey man, I appreciate that, Daniel. Appreciate it a lot. Heal, yeah, okay. Guys, if you aren't yet, make sure you take a moment and Google Hype the Clean, you know, and check out the Instagram feed, the website. Dan has all these great resources online, and most recently, Daniel's kind of come out of his dad mode hibernation because, you know, he's had a big life change. But Daniel, I should also mention that I recently watched your interview. What was the last one that you put out? I'm blanking now. But I watched it. It was awesome. Hold on. The name. Maybe do a plug for me, Dan, in the comments. But it was a really good interview. Okay. Where are we at? Okay, so let's cycle through the other 3 combos that you definitely want to have. Again, let's look at this next line. Let me pull this up over here. We're going to do this pattern number 2 now. So we're looking here if you're on YouTube and Facebook. Let me pull this up. Okay, and we're going to turn this. We'll turn the eighth note back on. I'm going to put it every 2 beats so we have that back beat. Okay, here we go. Off the left. Next pattern, 1-ya. Off the left. Hold up a sec. We're looking at pattern number 3 right now. I can see some people kind of, they're searching like, wait, what are we looking at right now? We're looking at these 2 bars. And 1, 2, ready, go, left. Okay, so a quick thing to mention about this, which is when we were playing the first 2 patterns, the 1-and and the 1-anda, you may have noticed that you're like, oh, when I play the check and I play 1-and or 1-anda, my right hand's just doing this the whole time. And you should be super, super comfortable with that, right? Because we play this exercise all day, every day, right? So you've got that as a checkpoint or something that you can kind of lean on. Of course, you're moving your feet. This is super important. This is actually a great time to develop your feet as you're doing this, so you figure out how your hands work with your feet. That's going to be really, really important in just a moment. The thing that you want to pay attention to here is now your right hand, or the E's and the U's, sorry, you're left-handed when you're playing it off the right, and your right hand when you're playing it off the left. The E's and the U's, they're flowing the entire time as well now. So if we separate our hands, so when you turn the metronome on, bop, beep, doo, doo, ding, dong. Right? If you're comfortable with playing on the E's and the U's with it going one E, and looking like a spaz, right? You're still feeling the downbeat. Or the half notes. Right? I remember in high school, my teacher used to do this thing where he would tap off the drum line, or let's say if I was center snare my senior year, if I was tapping off, I'd go. Right, I'd get 3 and 4 and he'd play E and so it'd look like, right, he'd go and he'd play the E's and the U's, or we'd be playing 8s. I think he was just, now that I'm thinking back on it, he's probably just bored. But as we're playing 8s, he would fill in the E's and the U's. Whoa, how is he doing that? How's he feeling the E's and U's? If you're a bass drummer, you're like, yeah, wait, we do that every day, right? But at the time, I was like, wow, that's really impressive that he could do that. So what I'm trying to say is, for most people, you're probably comfortable playing 8th notes on the downbeat, but just realize that it's the same motion on the E's and U's, and if you can make it feel just as comfortable on the syncopated E's and U's as you can when they're on the downbeat and the 8th note, then you're getting closer to having a mastery of these rhythms. Okay? All right, let's try the next pattern, E and A. Okay, now this is very important. I talk about it in this book now. This is a syncopated figure, and in this instance, we talk about composite rhythms. Okay, so let me zoom out of here for a second. I'm going to come back up to give a visual example of what we're talking about. When you're trying to put your feet together with these rhythms, you want to know what the composite rhythm is between your feet and the rhythm you're playing. So in this example, we have the rhythm E and A, right? So you have 1 E and A, 2 E and A, E and A, E and A. In my feet, I'm still feeling, thinking, hearing, and even playing. Let's say you're behind a drum set, you can hear boom ba da da, boom ba da da, or if you're marking time, you go boom, boom, right? You can hear the composite rhythm and the composite part, right? So when I play this rhythm in my head, I hear and when I'm doing this, I'm still hearing that click, right? And you can even audiate, which is a fancy word for hear in your head, the click. Let me turn this down, okay? Because this is where you start to build your feet. If you're, I think I saw Isaac mention earlier, he's a beginner, right? If you're in middle school and you're getting ready to go into high school and playing the drum line, and you need to figure out how to move your feet with your hands, this is a good place to start, right? After you've gone through 8 on a hand, right? And after you've played the basic, that first timing full exercise that we covered in yesterday's lesson. Let's say you're working your basic 3-note 16th timing patterns now. Super important that you go through this process and you figure out, hey, how do my feet work with my hands? And usually beginners, they play 1 E and, 1 and A, maybe even 1 E, no problem. And then they get to E and A, and they short circuit, right? So in this instance, you go really, really slow, really, really slow. Let me say it again, really, really slow. 1 E and A, 2 E and A, get your feet going. And then I want to hear, I'm not sure if this is coming through on the mic, but I hear dum ba ga ga, boom ga ga ga. You've got to hear the composite rhythm. 1 E and A, 2 E and A. You hear those two rhythms together, and you can do the same thing with the metronome. Let's say if I turn this really slowly. Okay, so I should hear, I'm going to put that chirp every downbeat, right? And then when I play E and A, I want to hear the chirp go, chirp da da da, chirp da da da. Okay, and I can even turn these 16ths a little bit softer. so I'm really burying them. I shouldn't be able to hear them when I'm playing. And I'm listening for chirp E and chirp E. And this is the equivalent of playing with other musicians and knowing how your part fits with other people, or vice versa, how other people's parts fit with your part, right? Let's say I'm playing a syncopated part and someone else is going boom, 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 and I've got to go, right? I go boom, bop, 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 bop. You know this if you're a bass player, right? You shouldn't just sing your own part and go 1, 2, 3, 4, you end up, right? In your head, you're thinking, and you're seeing the composite bass line part. If you didn't know that as a bass drummer, now you know, right? Bass players, they hear the entire bass line so it sounds connected and fluid. So the same thing here, when you're practicing by yourself, you need to hear the dum ga 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 dum ga ga ga. Let me turn the 16ths off now, right? Feet. Okay, so you can hear how the composite rhythm is what we're talking about here. You need to hear the composite rhythm between the metronome and your hands, or your feet and your hands. There's always a composite rhythm if you're playing some sort of syncopated pattern without the downbeat. Let me pause. I'm going to explain one more thing and then we'll pause and see if there are any questions, okay? Let's say you're playing a 2-note time pattern where it's rest and okay? It's the same thing wherever I'm going. This next example, let me scroll down a little bit here. Okay, so this is the composite rhythm. And now we're talking about, and again, this is all available in the second volume of the Marching Percussion Playbook. Let's say you're looking at this example now, okay? I want to play rest and 3 and 4 E and right? In my head, I don't just go 1 E and 2 E and just hope that that's in time, right? The first step would just be able to go 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4 and in my head I hear composite rhythm, do boom ba ba boom ba ba boom ba ba boom ba ba doom ba ba boom ba ba boom ba ba boom ba ba, right? And if you want to take it another level, you could go boom ta ta boom ta ta. I hear like a dum hi hat on the E, dum ta ta dum ta ta dum ta ta dum ta ta. If you're feeling and subdividing all those inner beats and hearing that composite rhythm, feet with your hands, metronome with your hands, you have all these other checkpoints to see if you're playing the rhythm in time or staying in time, right? Most commonly, let's try first and I'll tell you what most commonly happens, okay? Here we go. We're gonna play the and rhythm with our feet. You can try it without your feet first if you haven't done it with feet first, and just see if you can feel this rhythm. So 2 counts of check, 2 counts of and. And ready and go E and 1 E and 2 E and do do da da do do da da 1 2 boom boom ga ga boom ga da ga 1 2 boom boom ba ga boom boom ba ga 1 2 boom boom ba ga boom ga ba ga bum. Right? So there's no guessing involved. If you've ever been like, I think like that, I think it's here. Oh, now you me, right? If you've ever found yourself guessing, there's no guessing involved. You start really slow like this. You gradually work your way up 60, this is 60 beats per minute. 60, 68, 76, 84, on and on. You work your way up, and eventually you'll be a built-in metronome. You'll have all these steps built in, okay? I see this happen a lot of times with beginning players where they play the exercise and they tear from the metronome. They're going, they're just trying to play the stickings and maybe the rhythm, but they forget to listen to the metronome, make sure that they're staying with them. And it's almost like as if, you know, if you were driving a car. Again, these car analogies never work because a lot of times when I'm introducing this topic, it's like younger middle school and high school players. A lot of times they don't have driver's license yet. But it's like you're driving and you're not looking at the road, and it isn't until you get to where you think you're going, you go, okay, did I make it? Meanwhile, you've run over the mailbox and, you know, you've driven off the side of the road. You've got to be looking at the road the whole time, or in other words, feeling the metronome, checking with the metronome the entire way that you're there. Periodically, you go, yep, okay, I'm still in the lines, I'm still in the lines. Yep, good, looking at my mirrors, Yep. Okay, good. Constantly assessing to make sure you're still where you are trying to go. Okay? All right, let's take some questions here. A lot of talking. Let's come down to here. Bada boom. Let's take some questions here. I try car analogies too. Yeah. If we have one of these days, you think I would have better analogies that are more relatable to middle school and high school students? If you've got a good one, let me know. Chicago's Gupta says, subdivide! Absolutely. I'm in Furman. Welcome to the room. What's up, guys? From Indonesia is what it looks like. Yeah. Jake says, nice, man. Nice. Okay. Lisa, thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks for coming to the room, guys. Nathaniel, thanks for the hearts. Hi, Kelsey. King James, welcome. Solid stuff as always. Okay, great. Yeah, man. We got a nice little crowd coming in. Okay, thank you, guys. And if you're catching this on the replay, just know that all your questions will show up in the comments also. You can leave us questions down there. We'll answer those as well. If you are a teacher and you have some teaching suggestions as well, please leave those, because this is a chance for us all to be learning and sharing with each other. And yeah, I think that's it for this section. So why don't we pause there for now? This basically covers the focus of today's lesson. Now tomorrow we're going to talk about easy and difficult, or familiar and what I like to call familiar and unfamiliar, right? And we're going to look at some of the less common patterns that you'll see people play, i.e. the 2-note timing patterns for 16th notes and triplets, and the 1-note timing patterns for 16th notes and triplets. Those are super key as well. If you play all of the timing patterns that are listed in the book chapter, then you will be less likely to encounter a rhythm or a timing where you're like, oh, because you're basically covering duple and triple, or not duple and triple, but like 16th note based versus triplet based rhythms. And then all the other rhythms are variations on those too, but you'll have a framework for you to plug in additional rhythms that you have to learn as you grow and expand, right? If you've never done your 1-note 16th note timing patterns, or you've never done your triplet based timing patterns, you're gonna find yourself in instances where you're like, oh, I don't know how to feel that. I'm having to guess. And as soon as you're guessing what the rhythm is, or where to place it, or how it feels, that's where you leave room for strange interpretations, and it doesn't fit quite right. Okay? All right, let's take some questions. If there are any questions, welcome from Brazil. Thank you so much for joining. We'll take any open questions. So if you want to punch those in now, you can punch in some open Q&A questions. Let me just quickly check through this. So today is Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. And what we'll do on Thursday is we'll talk about those 2-note and 3-note timing patterns. And then Friday, what we'll do is we'll play through all the timing patterns together. Okay, so it'll just be like a drumming session together on Friday. So if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe, follow, share, turn on live notifications for these live streaming lessons if you enjoyed them. Send me direct messages if you want, and let me know that you enjoy these live streams. And of course, make sure you share with your friends, because there are other people who are at home right now and they just don't know these videos are happening. And if more people hear about them, they know about them, then we're just sharing the information with the percussion community at large. Okay? All right. Let me answer the question from yesterday. Where is this? A-Pan from Sugarland, Texas. What's up, bud? That's my nephew, folks. Zach, coming in. Isaac, I'm off school for 4 more weeks. Raleigh says, not a question, but I love the car analogy, LMAO. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of my analogies are car-based, and I'm gonna work on some new material this week, so it's more middle school friendly. Okay, let's jump into the Q&A session, and we're going to pick up from where we left off yesterday. Michael Brown asked us a question yesterday. I wish I could pull it up. Basically, Mike's question was asking about how I feel, teach, and practice nines. And let me pull this up over here. Michael, I have a handout in my Season 3 live lesson pack. It's like my Nylet primer. It's what I use with all my students when I introduce nines for the first time. There's also a free lesson of this. If you go to my free lesson resource page, huei-yuan.com/free lessons. You can download this handout for free as well. But if you want to support, you can pick up the Season 3 live lesson pack. And why don't we just go through this? So you can watch the full lesson of this on that free resources page. But I'll give you like the 5-minute version of this lesson. Okay, and then I see some more questions coming through, and we'll take those questions in just a second. Okay, all right. So when you're feeling ninelets are when you're feeling 9 notes over 1 beat. Okay, let me try that one more time. Because we're going to repurpose these videos for our Drumline Blooper video course members. Okay, so ninelets are when you're feeling 9 notes over typically 2 quarter note beats, right? But you can split it up in various ways. But to introduce this concept, we're going to start with just 3/4 quarter notes. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And in this handout, you'll see that we're tapping off a quarter note. So the tap off would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? And you're just thinking quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Now, inside that space, we're also very familiar with triplets. So we're going to relate the ninelets to something that we already know. In this case, we would have triplet, 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 or 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, triplet, 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 1. Okay? Of course, you can slow this down if this is the first time you're encountering it. But now you're feeling this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So in our lesson today, we talked about macro time and micro time. And so now we have these micro notes of the triplet subdivisions. But I can also be feeling this as a dotted half note, which pop quiz, dotted half note has how many beats? That's right, 3 quarter notes, right? 3 quarter note beats. So in the dotted half note, I just feel 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? So now let's speed up a little bit. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then you get comfortable being able to move in between bum, 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 bum. Okay, so now you're used to feeling groups of 9. And you know, because it's an odd number of notes, if you start with your right hand, that release will be your left hand, and vice versa. Left hand ends on the right hand. Okay? So now, let's just introduce a few basic stickings that you might see when you're playing ninelets. Okay? So here, this first sticking that I've given you, let's see, 8 common stickings that you'll see in these ninelet patterns, right? And this first one we're looking at is here. And it's just gonna be right, it's just gonna be alternating. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I'm tapping the half notes here, right? So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, now if I've lost you at this point, don't sweat it, okay? This is normal if you're like, oh, that like went 2 steps too fast. So just slow it back down, and the main thing is just get the sticking down. Like 9 notes is kind of a weird number if you've never played 9 before. But you've probably played 3 counts of triplets at some point, right? And you're ending on what would be the theoretical beat 4. If you're in 3/4, it's beat 1. Triplet, 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 1. And then you drop the left hand. Triplet, 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 1. And then you put that together. 1, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. I can get my beginning 6th grade percussionists to play that, right? So if you can do that, it's just a matter of gradually speeding up, maybe 4 beats or 8 beats at a time. So when you gradually can get to a little faster, a little faster, right? Bum, bing, gum, bing, gum, gum. Okay, so let's just worry about groupings, stickings, and then the feel will come with time. So don't get frustrated if it's like, wow, that's too much. Okay, just start with the stickings and give yourself a little bit of time. Okay, all right, let's look at the next sticking here. These are 3s. And we talked about this. There's been a lot of live streaming lessons going on, so we talked about this a few lessons ago. I don't remember which one off the top of my head now. I've reached the age now where if I don't write it down, I can't remember what happened 5 minutes ago if I don't write it down. But in this instance, we have groups of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Hold on, let me just check this real quick. Okay, yeah. So we have this 1, 3, 1, 3. And if you haven't played before, then your goal is to take it. Let's try. What does 60 feel like? Let me see. 2, 1, bum, bum, beat the bum, da, bum, da. I'm going to turn the triplets on. Oh, this is getting baked. That might make it worse. Okay, I'm making it a little bit more complicated than it needs to be, but in this instance, you're playing 3 notes. Okay, and then the first grouping is off the right, and the second grouping is off the left. And I think what just happened is that's an instance where sometimes if you go too slow, it actually makes it harder. Let me try here. Get the vocabulary first in your hand. Okay, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and bing, bum, bum. Right, and you hear me kind of like humming a melody. Bum, 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 boom, bum, bum, bo-dee-da, bo-dee-da. I think one thing that I've done more so over the years is if I hear a melody, bo-dee-ba, bo-bee-ba, playing a little bit on top of the beat right now, right? But if you can relate what you're playing rhythmically, drumming-wise, to a melody, I find that it makes your drumming a little bit more musical, a little bit more fluid, a little bit more connected also. So that's another strategy that you could also try. Okay? All right, let's try another one. I'm going to move through these next few ones kind of quick. So this is a putted 3. Oh, no, all putted. So let's say you get to here. So what you're seeing is I'm moving between quarter notes, eighth notes, quarter note triplets, ninelets, and before you start moving in between each of these subdivisions fluidly, you have to master each one by itself. That's really, really important. A lot of times you see people trying to just do that, and if you haven't figured out each one before you start putting them together, then each one gets a little bit weird. Okay? All right, let me play the next one, and then I'll see what questions are. Like a da-da-pa. So right, right, left sticking, but the accent's on the left. Wait, I saw something the other day. It was like, I was watching one of Kevin Donka's videos, and he was talking about, it was like, oh, he was talking about Swiss stickings and with the kick. Yeah, so those are fun too. So that's kind of like this, where you're going. So 1, 3, 1, 3. Okay, let's start a little bit under. right? So da da puz, and then you can put them together. So it's, and that's fun. When you get those two pieces of vocabulary together, you can start mixing and matching them, and all sorts of variations. Like if you look at this, oh, so in the fifth one I give you is a putted a 3. This is a really common one that you'll see with 9s. Sorry, I'm too fast. Okay, so this is an instance where I'm feeling the macro and the, not micro, but it's like the macro. But I'm feeling bum, 2, 3. I'm feeling the half note. 1, 3, 1, 3. And so I'm feeling that downbeat of the puttada on the beat. And I'm also feeling the quarter note triplet. Bum bum beam bum 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 beam bum bum 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. I know there's some poor 9th grader right now. They're going like, well, how do I feel the quarter note triplets? Briefly, if you're feeling these quarter notes and you're feeling triplets, triplet, 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 right? You know these. You're familiar with these. If I accent every other triplet, and I take out those taps or those inner beats and I just play the accents. And I shouldn't say some 9th grader. I have known from professional musicians who struggle with quarter note triplets. And you know, drummers, we like to make that joke where most commonly they'll switch that quarter note triplet into a 1, and 1, and 1. Which is a different rhythm. You know, you'll see that spacing, 3/16 notes, and that last one only has 1/16 note. So that's like a blasphemous quarter note triplet. If you mean to play bam bum boom bum boom boom bum boom bum and you change it to bum bum boom boom bum boom boom, it's different. It's a different feel, different style. So how do you practice your quarter note triplets? Do that extra as a bunch until you can just go bum 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 bum, and then check yourself and see if you can go 1 2 3 4 bum 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 bing bum bum 1. And hear those triplets. 1 triplet, 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 1. That was terrible. Try again. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 2 3 4. Datu 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 1 2 3 4. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1. Quarter note triplets. Okay, questions, and then I'm just going to finish off this handout and see if there are any other questions. Hi, Elba. Welcome, welcome. Okay, Din, welcome. Thanks for those hearts, guys. See those coming through. Appreciate that. I was the first one in. Hey, Derek. You're underrated. Aiden, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, let's finish off. I don't see any questions coming through over here, which is totally fine. So I'm just going to finish this question from Michael from yesterday, and then we're going to call it a day. Okay? And again, you can find this handout on huei-yuan.com/free lessons. Nicholas Dillon says, 3/2 polyrhythms are also good. Yeah. So if you have 1 2 1 2. And this is actually, that's a good point, Nick, which I think as a middle school kid, this is where I first learned how to do this. Yeah, I remember distinctly being in 6th grade and we were playing Carol of the Bells, and we had to play both hands, right, left, right. Both hands, right, left, right. Right? And usually when you show people this, they're like, okay, I got it, right? And you say, okay, try it off the other way now. So you start with your left hand, it's both, left, right, left. Both, left, right, left. Right, now if you can do this with some beautiful legato, full stroke, free strokes as you're doing this, what you're really playing is quarter notes in the left hand, and quarter note triplets in the right hand. And then you switch hands. Back to the right hand. Back to the left hand. Right, and I remember the first time I started getting the hang of this, I was like, "Ooh, okay, that's a thing." And then I think when I got into college, I started playing a lot of like Lou Harrison, John Cage percussion ensemble music, and a lot of times you'll see like 4/3 or 5/2, and all these strange subdivisions. I was like, "Whoa, I don't know what those are," and so I had to figure how those laid out. 5/4, and then when I was marching Cavaliers, we did a lot of what Jim Bailey at the time called foot torture, and so you're having to mark time with your feet. What was it? What we would do like? What did we do? We'd mark like bing bong 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 bong. We'd march the quarter note, and then our feet would switch to quarter note triplets, or we'd be playing triplets. Like your feet would have to switch, your hands would switch, and there'd be all these different variations and combos that they would throw out at you, and your goal is to still be able to feel your home base pulse regardless of what you're playing. So, Regis, what's up, man? Long time no see, guys. There's like Kichi Kobayashi. Hey, Kichi. We've never met, Kichi, but I watch your videos online all the time. Thanks for popping in real quick. Okay, I think that's it, guys. Let's play a few of these last couple variations that we've got. We did patata threes already, and 3 patadas, so you just reverse it. All right, I'm going to just move this up a little bit for time's sake. A little bit more. Okay, and then we'll go over to paradiddle diddles. Oh, so because there's 9 notes, you can play 3 groupings of what did I do here? Paradiddle diddles. Oh, that's cool. Oh. Oh my gosh, hold on. Okay, so this is a good example where like I can't feel this for some reason. So bum bum. Oh, that's kind of baked. Okay, because this is a different macro-micro feel that we're doing, right? So we were talking about 3/2 earlier. Now I have to feel 4/3 because you're going 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so my first strategy was to get the hand speed of down, right? And then just play the sticking with the same note speed. Right? Then the other way you could feel it is those accents, bum, 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 bum. That's a 3-note grouping over 4 quarter notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, keep going. it is. That's kind of weird. Okay, and oh, tap 5. This is a gotta have it. So you're. Alright, so that's like a you gotta have in your vocabulary. So if you can play these 8s, I mean, there's so many other variations like, or was another one? You can do Shirley Murphy's, which is a putted 3 sticking. You could do Shirley Murphy's. That's another strategy. It's a little bit of experimentation where you just play the sticking, and if you find yourself finishing before the metronome, then just play a little bit slower. If you finish after the metronome, then just play a little faster. So there's a little bit of experimentation. So first strategy was get a sticking that you know, and then use that to assist you with this new sticking. The second option is to feel the composite between the macro and the micro beats. And then the third example is just experiment. Play it one way and see if it's too fast or too slow, and then just adjust it. Okay, let's finish out. Thank you, Coons, for those hearts. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you, hello. Okay, I think we're wrapping up here. That's about it. Man, it's cool to see a lot of old friends coming in the room too. So, if there are no other questions, tomorrow we're going to experiment with watching some videos and doing some live critique. Let me get out of this window. Again, this handout is available at huei-yuan.com/free lessons. Or are we? Yeah, huei-yuan.com/free lessons. You can find me at Huei-Yuan on all social media channels. And you can download this handout. It's usually part of the full marching percussion playbook, but you can get this volume for free if you go to that website today. And if you do download it, do me a favor and leave a rating, a 5-star rating if you enjoy it on that page. Okay, that's all I have for today, guys. If you have any other questions, shoot me a direct message. Thank you so much for letting me know. If you're watching these, like, subscribe, follow, share, turn on notifications. And we'll see you in tomorrow's lesson. We're going to keep continuing this timing theme for the week. And yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and if you want to get your video like reviewed in the sense where you're looking for help, you're like, hey, Huei, here's a video of me playing 9s. I'm struggling with this. Or this is a video of me playing ballad. We're going to try to watch some videos together in the live stream, and I'm going to give you specific examples of what you could be practicing to help work on. What do I notice when I watch the video? And if you were the student, what are the exercises or steps I would take you through to start helping you correct some of these things that I'm noticing. So if you'd like to send me a video for that, just find me on Instagram at Huei-Yuan. Send me a video of yourself there, and I'll prep them up for tomorrow's lesson. Okay? All right, I think that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Nick, thanks for coming in. Nick says, thanks for everything you are doing, Huei. You're welcome, Nick. Thanks for coming in. Thanks to all to the teachers and directors and students out there that are watching and sending nice notes of encouragement. Hope you guys are doing well. Wash your hands. Continue to social distance. Take care of yourselves physically and mentally and emotionally. And we'll see you guys in tomorrow's lesson. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later. Bye.